Hi, I'm Diana, and I'm sitting here with Tania Fleming. She's one of the heads of our accident benefits department, and today we're going to be discussing your accident benefits file and how we build it. Many people seem to think that because you're involved in a car accident, you're automatically entitled to some sort of compensation from the at-fault driver. Now, what they don't understand is there's actually a part one to a claim when you're involved in a car accident. Tania has been a paralegal for many years without giving out her age, but she has been with Diamond and Diamond for some time. She heads our accident benefits department, and she's going to help you actually and myself figure out how the process goes in the initial claim. So, Tania, you meet with a client for the first time.
Yes.
What do you need from them?
Well, usually we need to know a bit about their life before the accident so we can see how things have really been impacted after, how things have changed, their injuries, their life, their family, their job, everything.
Okay. And what their health was, I'm assuming, before?
Yeah, that's definitely important for the accident benefit claim.
Okay. And when we talk about accident benefits claim, who is that with? Who are you going with on that one?
Yeah, so when you're involved in an accident in Ontario, you're legally obligated to go through your own car insurance if you are insured.
Okay. And in the case that you're not insured?
If you're not insured, it's a little bit more complicated. There are certain rules of priority, as we say.
Essentially finding insurance.
Yes, exactly. We have to find the insurance. But essentially, if there really is no other insurance that may take priority for that coverage, you would claim under the at-fault driver's insurance.
Oh, okay. Wow. So what if it's your fault?
You still have no fault insurance, which is the accident benefit claim. This is why we pay for insurance, not just to have our car on the road. It's so that you're covered if something happens.
Okay, so whether you're at fault or not at fault for an accident, you still always must reach out to your own insurance company, correct?
Yes, absolutely. If you want like a claim for treatment, essentially.
Okay. And what is it that they're covering exactly?
So it can be a few different things, but generally accident benefit is looking at covering you for medical rehabilitation, and it can also cover some income loss.
Ooh, that's good to know. And you're paying into that throughout the year, and that's what it's covering, right? In the event that you're hurt.
Absolutely.
So you're not going after the other driver's insurance. You're first dealing with your insurance company. They're going to cover all those things for you.
You're correct. And then if there is some above and beyond, and you do have the option to sue or go through that third-party insurance, you get that extra or the things that aren't covered under accident benefits through the second claim.
Okay. And your auto insurer has to respond to that claim.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you make the claim with your auto insurer.
Yep.
What are they looking for first? Like how do they determine whether or not you're entitled to those benefits?
So like I said, when we get that background information, they're looking for what your injuries are to establish kind of what injury category you're going to be put under to start.
Injury category?
Yes, there are 3 injury categories. There's minor, non-minor, and catastrophic.
Minor, non-minor, and catastrophic. And then if you're in a minor, what's a minor?
They're generally soft tissue injuries, sprains, strains, whiplash, and that holds a limit of $3,500 for treatment. Generally, it's a few months of treatment.
Really? Just $3,500?
That is it.
What happens if your injuries worsen? Then what happens? Are you pushed into this next category or?
Yeah, if you have more serious injuries, so obviously fractures, tears, you have surgery, concussions, psychological injuries, that can push you into the non-minor category, and that holds a limit of up to $65,000.
Wow. Okay. So as you're progressing through, and let's say your client's going to their doctors or whatever they're doing what they need to do. If let's say if their injuries worsen, and then you said there was the catastrophic category? Or
yes, the catastrophic.
What is required in order to be a catastrophic?
So catastrophic injuries are really the worst injuries that you can imagine. So we're talking about amputations, quadriplegia, paraplegia, serious brain injuries, even serious psychological impairments. So that category holds a limit of up to $1 million. And with that, you also get other benefits that you wouldn't regularly get through the minor or the non-minor categories as well.
Which it would open it up to, I'm assuming, you said there was going to be a lot more treatment. There was going to be a lot more, I guess the income stuff stays the same if you're not returned to work?
Correct.
Okay. And then what are the other benefits that you can get from that?
So it increases like the amount of personal care that you can claim for each month. And it also gives you other medical rehabilitation that certain treatments that maybe aren't available to you, like a case manager. You could have housekeeping available to you. You can even
Which would make sense if you're,
exactly, and you can even re-elect to a different benefit depending on what your specified benefit is that you're claiming.
Okay, and something in a case where somebody does get an amputation or what have you, would a file like that run itself for the most part, or is there more work that needs to be done to get to that level of approval from an insurance company? Because that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and it definitely does not run itself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would not have done it. So there's a lot more involved. You have a huge multidisciplinary team, case manager, occupational therapists, rehab therapists, rehab assistants, social workers, everybody.
Many hands in the pot, right?
Lots, and everyone has their own job to do.
That's incredible. But are you able to, let's say somebody has with the soft tissue. Have you ever been able to successfully build somebody up to maybe that catastrophic level?
Absolutely.
Really? Mm-hmm. Based off of?
Multiple different things, but usually
my neck, like my back, ow, from the accident, it'll never be the same.
That generally won't get you to catastrophic, like some, soft tissue strains. If something more significant is found, spinal cord injury or a serious psychological impairment can definitely have you deemed catastrophic. When we get a file, it's not always clear what injury category they're going to be in. That's why you can never discount anyone's injuries. Someone who seems like they just have soft tissue injuries may end up being that catastrophic claim because they may never go back to work. They may end up seeing all different types of specialists and needing treatment really for the rest of their life.
And I guess so you were talking about psychological issues, right? That could also worsen, I'm assuming, right? And
Absolutely.
That would take I guess the insurance company would also consider a psychological injury something of a catastrophic impairment there.
It can be, absolutely.
Okay. What's required from a client in order to get the more benefits open up to them, or to get them from a soft tissue to a minor to an out of minor injury, let's say, on the lower end of things?
So it's just really important that applicant or one of our clients continues to follow up with their family doctor, treating physicians, and really push to make sure that their complaints and injuries are being heard. Sometimes when they are minor, doctors do discount or discredit their injuries, saying that they'll be fine in a few weeks, and clients really need to advocate for themselves, and we can advocate for them too, to try and get them into that next category, push them to get the diagnostic imaging, push them to get that referral to investigate it further to the specialist.
Wow. So there is a bit of responsibility on the client's part. As far as your job is concerned, your job is to obviously push the paperwork, get the medical records, build the file, and what have you, but there is some sort of, you need that participation from the client, which is important. What do you do in the case where, like, I'm seeing that's a common theme, that the medical treatment is like very important? What do you do in the case where a client really is like, I am hurt, but I'm not going to do this assessment. I'm not going to go see my family doctor once a month. This is not what I signed up for. I'm happy to allow it to run its course. Like, what are you limited to at that point?
Really a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
So claims, like I said, don't run themselves.
Yeah.
The insurance companies look at a file, and if they see nothing in it, you could be suffering, from a lot of different injuries.
Right.
But if you're not making the complaints, going to see the doctors, and there's no record of it anywhere, to the insurance company, that doesn't exist.
Right. Because I think a lot of people just, like I said earlier, I think a lot of people just think that because they're doing, they got into an accident, it wasn't their fault, that they should just automatically get some funds. But there's some onus on them, I guess, from what you're saying, is to build up, help them, right? Or help them help you,
Correct.
Whatever the case may be. But they're there. What happens in the case when the insurance company says, even if it's anywhere from minor injury, I keep referring to a soft tissue, I apologize, a minor injury to a catastrophic. At one point, the insurance company says, okay, enough is enough. I've done what I can here. We've paid the maximum benefit allowed. When can you settle? How quickly can you settle? Is there a settlement that the client can get from that? What are they drawing?
So it really depends on the insurance company, truthfully.
Yeah.
Because legally these claims don't have to settle. Accident benefits, if they want to settle, they will, but they don't have to. Oftentimes the insurance companies do like to give an offer to try and close the file, because the alternative is they have to keep the claim open for 5 years and medically manage it, which costs them money as well to do that, right?
Yeah.
So oftentimes they'll want to offer something to close it out. And usually, the earliest we can do it is 1 year.
Minimum 1 year.
Minimum of 1 year. You can attempt to settle the claim, but that's really dependent on the client and where they're at in their recovery.
Right. But that's, I guess, a good enough time frame for the insurance company to say, yeah, it is a serious injury. It's not such a serious injury, and we can kind of close this out and be done with this claim.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And say for the people in the back, without this step, you don't have a claim against the at-fault driver.
It's going to be difficult because accident benefits really paves the road for the lawsuit.
Right.
Everything that we do in the first part of the claim builds the medicals, builds that file so that you have a successful lawsuit or tort claim against the other
insurer. Onset, right? Like from the moment that they're, let's say, from the hospital or coming from the doctor's office or what have you, coming out of treatment, you have all those medicals to help build it up. And I guess the lawyer doesn't, like when they go on to sue the at-fault driver, if they have a claim against that. Because again, to clarify, you really don't care if the person's at fault or not. You just...
Correct.
Because anybody's entitled to an accident benefits claim.
Yes.
But if they want to proceed with a claim against the at-fault driver, they have to sit down with you first and talk about what you can do in terms of helping them out there.
Yep, they need to go for treatment, need to go to doctors, need to participate in the claim for sure.
So everyone, you heard it here. Diamond & Diamond can help you out with your accident benefits claim, but as Tania explained and as we've deciphered, the most important thing that you can do is first meet with us, talk to somebody like Tania or somebody in our accident benefits department, one of our paralegals, and we can help navigate and help build your file before we get to the claim against the potential at-fault driver. You can't have one without the other. So give us a call. If you've been injured, 1-800-567-4878. Thank you.